What is up, guys? It's Chris with Everydaychris and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the interior lights in your Tesla. As you can see, I'm in my Tesla Model Y, and I mean, yeah, there's some footlights here and then there's these lights up here, but it looks really basic. There's no colors or anything. At nighttime, it doesn't have that wow factor. So today I'm going to be installing lights by Nestour. You can find it on Amazon. It's very reasonably priced. We're going to see how easy it is. It comes with a 1-year warranty. So let's get started. So when we are installing the light, I mean, the package it comes in is very basic. So again, this isn't gonna be a crazy $600-700 interior LED upgrade with the best lights possible. I spent enough money on my Tesla accessories, so I wanted something a little bit more budget friendly. So I looked on Amazon and this brand had one of the highest reviews. So I reached out to them to see if I can get a sample and they agreed. What I mean by that is the light comes from these tubes here and it comes from one source. This one seems easy to do, doesn't seem that crazy, and it seems like a great idea. It connects to your app with your phone, and overall the installation isn't too bad. We're gonna make it look as clean as possible. We have all the tools we need. And again, this is like kind of like the main power hub. What I like about this is I can easily put it in my Cig Outlet power hub thing, and then I can control it with my touch screen. So this is what I have for my radio detector. I'm using 1 out of the 3. So I plug this in, I turn this for the power on, it's on number 2. And then now that number 2 is on, all the lights just kind of pop on. So in order to do this installation, we're gonna be doing the dashboard here. We're also gonna be adding the lights to the Footwell, and we're also gonna be doing the center console as well as the rear seat, just to provide the best look. A couple pieces you may need a trim tool, however they do include one for you. We're gonna just remove this here so that we can access the area here to put the 2. A lot of it you just cut off, so it's super simple. And then we're just gonna find a way to make it look super clean with double-sided tape. Now I already have a cover on here, because normally mine's a white dashboard. I have a Hills made cover, I love it. So hopefully it will work fine, no problem. Based on the manual, and I have to hand it to them, number 1, I'm a guy, and yes, you do have to read the manual. But the English is really good on this thing. Normally when you buy like Amazon stuff, the instructions are in horrible English and doesn't make any sense. However, this one makes a lot of sense. It's very simple. Pretty much they just want you to do the dashboard first, then work your way to the center console and then to the back side. But I mean, it even comes with an armrest organizer, which is cool because you have so many cables, you're gonna have to organize it somehow. But again, it makes your center console essentially useless because it's all full of wires, which is why I recommend the method where you keep everything organized and you just put it underneath. Now everything is just kind of in one, which is why there's so many wires. So we're gonna try to figure out which length we want to put in for which side. Now for this part, I recommend removing your floor mats because we're gonna see if we can open up this area here to get in and put all the wires so it looks way cleaner. I know there's a huge empty space back there. So if we could find a way to route everything, because this thing is huge. So if I could just put this in the center glove box and have this wire come down, it should be way easier. And then I just have to deal with all these other wires here. Because we could always remove this on the other side as well. I mean, you guys know how to change your cabin air filter. In order to do that, you have to do that on this side, on the passenger side. And when you look under there, there's so much space. I'm wondering if there's a way I could open both sides and then find a way to route the cable underneath it so it just looks cleaner. That would be cool too. Well, let's go ahead. I plugged it in. It's not on, but I want to lay everything out to make sure I know where everything goes. That way it's easier for me, I don't mess up. So we have the long wires here. This is for the Footwell, so we're gonna need 2 short ones for the rears. So I'm just gonna put them in the back over there. You'll worry about that later. This would be for the passenger side, and this is the driver's side. So the short wires, I'm gonna put it for the seats in the back because I have to do the back seats too. And this way I don't get confused, so I know where everything kind of goes and I can kind of find the best way for the cable management. So now that that's done, I have the long wires. If you want to do it the easy way, you could just fit all the wires into your center glove box if you want to, or center console, and you could do that instead. All up to you. But I already have enough wires in there, so I'm gonna see if I can remove this trim piece. It shouldn't be too difficult. I have my trim tool here. Wow, this comes out so easily. So this is the same thing as the cabin air filter where there's a huge clip right here that's plastic and really hard to take out. So I'm just gonna open it just a touch first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go onto the passenger side, see if we can see if there's an opening so I can run the wires through this part. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the driver's side. I'll have chapters and everything too to make it easier. I know it seems overwhelming at first, but the first goal is to put the wires where they need to go. After you do that, you can go ahead and start with the dashboard side because you have to cut the tubing and all that stuff, but it's not too bad. For me, it's all about cable management because I don't want to have cables everywhere. So this one is for the driver's side footwell, so I'm just gonna place it on this side so I don't have to worry about it. This is gonna be for the driver footwell light. I initially thought I could route it around so it looks cleaner and I didn't want any wires near here. However, it doesn't seem to be possible because the cable is too short. So the only way is to find a way to route it underneath and then stick it onto here in a safe manner. Because there is space for a cable here. I just have to find a way to mount it. It's kind of scary because I don't want to have it anywhere near the gas pedal or the brake pedal. So there is trim behind the gas pedal and brake pedal, and that's where we're going to put that footwell light and run it above that piece as well. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, I always have trim tools, so that's why I have this. It makes your life so easy, especially since there's so many things you can do with your Tesla on yourself. And then I just come over here and then pop this piece off too. Remember with this one, it goes like in. It goes down and in. This is for the driver's side dash. And we'll just route it down here. And we're just gonna find a way to lift it up onto this thing. So this is why it's important that you kind of do it first before you stick anything on. That way there's no mistakes. If you do mess up, it's all good. That's good. And then as far as this side goes, but essentially it's gonna run here. And I'm just gonna place it into this little area. And what's cool is this is all reversible. And if you know anything about Tesla, all their trim is mostly held in by clips. So you can fix that, make it look clean if you want to, and then you're gonna run it here. It's not bad because one wire is a little bit exposed. And a lot of people are probably gonna ask, is it gonna void my Tesla warranty? It will not void any warranty because it's literally plugging into the cigarette outlet and there's no aftermarket anything. If you ever have any problems, just don't turn it on when you take it in for service. If you have something wrong with your cigarette outlet, like something's not working, and they see something like that, then they may be more inclined to reject that warranty claim because it's attached to an aftermarket device. Now, I'm not saying this is super cheap material. This is very high quality for the price, which is amazing. Everything you have to cut, so get a pair of scissors. We're gonna be adding double-sided tape and we're gonna be running it along here. But ideally, if all goes well, there's a little air vent in here and then it just literally just slips into that air vent. So we just have to find a way to cut it so it's easier to insert into here. Now again, the light comes out from this little piece here. Seems a little tacky, but it works. But they give you a full plastic piece, which means you have to cut it because this on the left side, or my right side, your left side, is a single piece of tube. That single piece of tube goes into this hole here. And again, they don't add the double-sided tape, so you have to stick it on yourself. So if I were you, I would just start straightening this out as much as possible because it comes super bent. But if we were to cut a piece of the plastic piece here, I'm cutting the plastic, I'm not cutting the tube. Get some sharp scissors. It even comes with a baby screwdriver, but that's when you insert it into this tiny little hole as far as it can go. So see how it's all the way in? And then I screw drive it with the screwdriver they provide. And then that provides that light output. And again, it's gonna be all with double-sided tape, so keep that in mind. And you're gonna have to modify stuff based off of how your dashboard is. Because for me, my dashboard piece kind of pops up here. So I'm gonna have to find a way to cut it down a little bit so it fits. But when you are applying the tape, you wanna make sure you do it well, otherwise it's gonna fall off. So before I even start putting this piece into that piece, I'm gonna start applying the tape, making sure it's perfect, and then we're gonna apply this here. Comes with the tape, 3M, very high bond, that's the good one. But take your time with this part because this is what's gonna stick onto your dashboard. Let's go ahead and lay it onto the dashboard, see how much I actually need. And I'm always gonna have like plenty left over just in case. So this one will be attached to here along this piece here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in on here. But see how this piece is kind of in the way? So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it so it's more flush. And then I'm gonna start sticking it with the double-sided tape. Problem I'm having is that this piece here is getting stuck. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. Just be careful you don't cut the plastic tubing, otherwise you're screwed. So the beauty with my Tesla Model Y is the plastic trim piece here, you can remove it. I know with the newer Tesla Model Ys, it's attached here. However, for me, I could simply just pop this off here, and then it allows me to possibly, and I'm gonna check to make sure, you'll know if you have the older one because it's just a piece that can easily come off. And you can see it when you look at it, like, oh, it's like actually another piece. Make sure the tape is attached to the dashboard. I had it on reverse on accident, so that's why I was like, how come it's not sticking? Depending on how OCD you are, I have my X-Acto knife. I'm gonna try to cut it down as close to that bar as possible. So it just fits a little bit better. And again, I think there may be enough space if you had it without the dashboard cover, but for me, it's just gonna stick out like that forever. But I was able to remove this piece. I was able to jam the interior light in, jammed into here, and I think now I can put this back. It may not be 100% fit because it's kind of in the way, but it makes it so that tubing isn't in the way, which was super annoying for me. You could use the trim tool that they gave you if you wanted to. So I'm able to just kind of wedge my finger in there, or wedge the trim tool in there. And if you really wanted to, you could blast the heater just to make it more pliable, but you don't have to do that. But really take your time. You don't want any bumps. You want it to look as clean as possible because that's what Tesla dashboard is. This kind of attaches onto here. Some people can actually put it higher up so it sticks more on the dash. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna see if we can put this back together now. And I wanna see if it fits because I'm not sure if it's even gonna fit. Make sure when you put this in, you put this piece in first, and then it goes behind the rubber trim. So once you attach it to this side, it's super easy. Just leave enough so you have it to route on that side. Now I don't know why I thought that I could put another tube here to make it brighter, which would have been cool if they did add that. However, I still have to do the center console. So I'm just gonna go ahead, leave that there, and I'm gonna put everything back together. So just like changing the cabin air filter, in order to remove this completely, you have to remove this piece here. So let's see if we can just remove as much as we can so we could try doing this without having to remove that top piece. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. You could see a light source kind of right in there. So that's the wires we're gonna run underneath, and we're gonna try to push it up into this part here so we can run it onto this side. The Model Y has tons of space, which is awesome. It's very easy to just move this piece up. As long as it's all the way up here, you're golden. So now this piece, I think I have too much, but this piece can easily go here on top. Okay, so for the center console, I have the tubing here, so it's gonna fit in here. Now, for me, this was not long enough, so I think I have to make it like twice as long. But again, it's easy up till you get to the corners over here, because then you have to really use this trim tool to jam it in and then jam it in there. But it is possible, it just takes a lot of time. So yeah, so again, make sure you measure multiple times before you go ahead and get started. I'm sure if you reach out to their customer service, they will send you more of this plastic piece, no problem. So this part was super annoying. I had to get the trim tool near the edges and then find a way to jam it in there. Got it. Because you're making it such a tight fit, it does decrease the effectiveness of this slightly, but I think it's because I have a cover on here. Okay, so then for this piece, I cut all the plastic tubing on this side. Makes it way easier to fit into the right angles of the corners here. I was able to kind of bend it this way. Again, I think with time it's gonna bend permanently like that, so it'll be a lot more malleable and better. I pushed in my center console tray, and then this closes, so success. We're gonna see how it looks now. So now with it on, you can see it is really bright in here, but it's all completely lit. Moving on to the rears, this is what I was really talking to you guys about. I want it to be as clean as possible, so up along here, I wanna place it. So that's why I wanna make sure this tubing is long enough where I can simply fit this underneath here like so, and then just attach it with zip ties. So if you take a look at this side, we're gonna be attaching the double-sided tape. Make sure the double-sided part is attaching to the seat, not the black part. So you wanna make sure you just align it properly. Find one edge. So for me, this is the start. And I'm gonna just run it all the way along there. And then I'm gonna pass it through. There's a little hole in the seat where you can pass the plastic tubing through so it doesn't look weird. And if you look in there, you can kind of see the hole I'm talking to you about. Oh, my seats are dirty. But yeah, it's a little hole that goes in between, and that's where you put the plastic piece, and that's where you can connect. tubing. When you're doing this part, make sure you put all the pieces in first, then slowly remove the double-sided tape and then push the plastic backing as you remove it. Seriously, is it just me? But this is the hardest part, removing the double-sided sticky part tape. Got it, finally, God. Pushing it into the seat. So see how it's a nice look to it? And I'm just removing it and then pushing. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attach this bulb here as well as this, making sure that the seat is all the way in the back position because I wanna make sure it's long enough and the wires doesn't tangle and all that stuff. So we're gonna go and do that. So if you look at the bottom, you can see that there's a lot of stuff down there. Even put the floodlight on this plastic piece. A pretty sturdy plastic piece right here. As you can see, there's metal clips all the way at the bottom. Now I have 2 wires that's coming from the driver's side. So I need to find a way to put these wires nicely. So one of these wires is the footwell and the other wire is for the tubing. Because the tubing wire is so long, I can route it around so it looks cleaner. So then I'm just gonna be left with the wiring that looks like that, which is not too bad. Now I just zip tied it there. I left some slack just in case. None of the cables should get in the way. Okay, so now we are on the driver's side. We have all the wires here. So the goal is, the only thing that's gonna be exposed really is the power bank thing here. I'm gonna fit everything else into this center console area. So with the Model Y, it's just an empty hole. No wires or anything to deal with, which is good. This is the wire for the LED tubing for the dashboard. I'm just gonna put it underneath the carpet here. I'm gonna mount this transformer with double-sided tape and just kind of mount it here so it stays here. And then that's pretty much it. And now all I have to do is just push this in and it looks so much cleaner. And when I add my floor mats, you can't even tell. Look at that, look how clean that looks. Once all that's done, you can install the app. So now that I downloaded the app, you can customize all the colors. You can't customize like turning on the footwell lights only or the LED strip, none of that stuff. You can even make it super bright with more white LEDs, that's cool. You have tri-color jump, what is this, 7-color jump. I love it because they have a 1-year warranty. The price is very reasonable on Amazon. It's just a fun little project you can do yourself to make your Tesla look a little bit more unique, especially at nighttime. So now we're all done with the installation. I mean, the interior lights look amazing. Go ahead and take a look. It just has a nice blue color, matches the blue Tesla. Overall, the installation was not difficult, but for me, I wanted that cable management, so I had to really think everything through. I was able to just route the footwell light on the passenger side through the interior in the center over there. And then I was able to route everything kind of through the back part. And then I put all the cables in that center area, making it so much cleaner and giving me access to the center console, which is a plus. Hope you liked this video, guys. I'll make sure I link everything in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.